this week we have fiery, initiatory new moon in Aries on April 17th, 2026 at 7:51 a.m. Eastern at 27 degrees, 28 minutes Aries. If this is the only new moon you set intentions for the entire year, this is the moon, because Aries represents the self. This is where you get to express your desires. And as you express them, begin to understand that your self-expression actually expands from being self-centered to include the well-being of more and more creation. It's ultimately creative. The self-expression is creative in a way that builds upon itself and allows others to also express themselves. Aries is a leader. Aries is also the child of the zodiac. They go head first, they initiate, they're enthusiastic, they get others excited to also create, right? They're heroes battling cynicism, boredom, and lethargy. They're breaking out of this dull, tried, rote way of being. And they give us the courage. That energy of Aries gives us the courage to create our own reality. We have, besides the sun and the moon at 27 degrees, 28 minutes Aries, we have 4 planets in Aries that are conjunct. We have Mercury, which transmits insight through fire, right? This is the energy of Aries moving through Mercury's excitement and creating that spark, right? Putting out ideas that create a spark. We have Mars, which is pure desire energy. It's Eros. It's ready for a fight, right? I love what Caroline Casey says about Mars, which is also Aryan, is Aries energy. All desires are pure if we distill them back to their original intention. A lot of us have this problem with following our desires because we've been taught that it's selfish. But on the larger scale, here we'll go on more with what she has to say. The gods did not place desires in our psyche to be thwarted or disappointed, but rather as an incentive for growth. Desires are our instructional blueprints of the possible. So if you can dream it, you can be it. Right? And Mars is almost exactly sextile Pluto in Aquarius. And while Pluto's in Aquarius, it's a rebellious energy for the collective right now. And it's an air energy. Pluto is in Aquarius, which is air, stoking the fire. So we do have a lot of rebellion energy in the air. Now, it's exact with Mars, but Mercury, Saturn, and Neptune are also sextile Pluto right now, like on a little bit of a wider scale. So then we have Saturn, which some people are like, oh my God, Saturn and Aries is can be difficult, but Saturn and Aries will help us to build the foundation, to build the structure in which to contain our desire, to move our desire forward. If we don't have a structure, the desire just kind of flops around and there's no flow, right? So the containment is actually very powerful. And then we have Neptune, which is our dreams and our imagination. Neptune's been in Pisces for 14 years. Now it is in Aries, and for that 14 years, the dream has been cooking. It's been sort of this amorphous thing. Now it's time to take action. Okay? So this is a very active time. And we also have Chiron, which is an asteroid conjunct the sun and the moon. And Chiron shows us maybe where we have experienced something that is maybe a recurring pain in our lives. This is something that we can allow that to be a thing that helps us to have a little friction for our desire, right? You need friction in order to have heat. So how can we use everybody calls Chiron the wounded healer, but I just say, what is the thing that seems to be a recurring theme? It's time to take that thing and let it become a strength rather than something that feels like it's holding you back. Venus and Jupiter are also sextile right now, both in their Venus is in Taurus, and it's about creativity, love, and beauty, and Jupiter is in Cancer, which is about nurturing, and they are both feeding one another. So whatever this creativity is, this desire, let it be something that is nurturing. And finally, we have Uranus at the end of Taurus, which is also in a very wide sextile to all these Mercury, Mars, Saturn, and Neptune. And Uranus, again, is going to feed into that rebellion. We've been seeing it this week quite a bit. We have somebody burn down a warehouse. We have, it's like the scales have been falling from our eyes for a while now. And the structure of our culture and some of our democracy is on a precipice, right? Corruption is cropping up everywhere, and it's now a time for us to create how we want to be experiencing our lives. And all of this Aries energy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 planets in Aries, giving us the courage to do that. What kind of world do you want to be living in? It's up to us. It's up to you to create it. It's up to me. What kind of world do I want to live in? It's up to me to create it. And ultimately, whatever it is that we're like deeply desire, that we truly desire, it is something that is going to not only be good for us, but good for the world. It is creative. Allow what actions you take to be creative. You don't need to be destroying things. They're falling apart on their own. We need to allow ourselves to break through and create what's next. And some people are doing vision boards or treasure maps. This is the time to do it. There's a lot of instruction on that, but basically you find imagery for things that you want to focus on. You also put a picture of yourself on the vision board, because it's yourself that you're focusing on, your own desires that you're focusing on, not what you think you should be doing, or what you think someone else wants for you, but what you want for you. And I'd say there's really good instructions for that on Astrology Hub right now. You can look up Astrology Hub treasure map, and there is a video or a podcast regarding the treasure maps. But I've been doing treasure maps for a long time. In the last 2 years, I haven't done one because I just was dealing with, the death of my mother, and just a lot of change happening. And I just was like, I need to sit back and let the universe sort of do its thing. But now I'm definitely doing a treasure map, and I'm starting that tomorrow. And you want to try to do your treasure map. Try to get it mainly finished before the next full moon. And then if there are any tweaks, you have until the Cancer new moon to tweak out what your treasure map should be. Okay. So that is that. And now I'm going to pull a card and see what the card has to say about the Aries new moon. Aries new moon, April 17th. What else can we expect besides desire, enthusiasm, spark, fire, fiery energy, maybe a little confrontational energy? Sometimes when we are claiming ourselves, claiming our self-expression, some people are gonna not like that. And you also just might be a little bit like, I don't know, do a little nudge. But generally, I think, we want to try to keep it, allow it to be creative, creative, playful, curious, connected, fun. Yeah, we could use some fun. Let's see. Okay, almost there. And pulled one out. We have the Ten of Swords. I'll pull out one more. Woo! Ten of Wands, excuse me. Ten of Wands. This is saying, this person's carrying all this stuff. The energy really is to be like, okay, so much of these, so many things that we either have created, so much of what we've created may have become a little bit heavy. We may have picked up other people's desires for us that maybe we don't want anymore. But this is really a time of letting go of some of those things that maybe are expected of us or that we expect of ourselves to keep on carrying. There's a lot of letting go this week. we can't keep going on like this. This person's all bent over. You need to narrow down what it is that you're going to continue carrying. Okay? I mean, it's basically like you don't have to do it all on your own. Seek out community. Aries is a self sign, right? Like people say it's the self, but it's the self in relationship to others. So allow others to carry some of the weight, or just put some of the weight down. And then, wow, and this is also fire, right? Then we have the Eight of Swords, and once again, it's like this is seeing past the illusion of your limitations. And Aries energy will do that. Like this person is, they might feel like they're completely surrounded by bars, but they're not 100% surrounded. That so many of our limitations are in our minds. And it's time to let go of those limitations. It's time to let go of people who put this kind of, what do I want to call it? Constriction on us. It's time to let go of constriction and to move forward, So if there's any energy if there's any sign that can stand up to this kind of energy, it's totally Aries. Because Aries is like, yeah, I'm not going to be constricted. I'm not gonna like hang on to bullshit. I'm not going to let anyone control me. I am moving forward. And that takes courage. So this is a week where we need to have a little bit of extra courage. Call on all these planets in Aries to do that, and create that vision board so that when you do feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I want, or I'm afraid to move forward, you take a peek at that, you see the vision, and and then that helps you to focus. It helps you to have courage. And at the bottom of the deck, voila, the star. The star is just that, is the vision toward manifestation, is hope, and hope in the darkness. So there is ultimately hope. Let these two, they're both sort of like trouble. They feel like trouble cards. Let the trouble be the friction that moves you in the direction of your vision. All right. Have a beautiful week. I'll see you soon. Peace.